I got my back piece of my lining on my table. I got a 3-inch ruler and I am measuring down from the top 3 inches and drawing a line. I want to put the number 10 on my ruler, the 10 line, in the middle of my center clip. And this is 8 inches wide. So there's going to be 4 inches on each side of my center when I fold it. There will be 4 inches on each side of this. So put that crease right on the 10 line. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's even. Okay? So I want to take my tape off. Or my paper off my tape. And then I want to put this back down. Okay, so that's on there. And then we are going to stitch around the outer edge. Okay? And yeah, I know I'm using pink thread, but that's okay. You want to do an 1/8 of an inch stitch. Do not back stitch because we're going to pull our threads through on the other side. Good. And I'm just going to tie all 4 of them together. Okay, so now we're going to cut this hole out. What I do is I fold it, clip, get a starter in there. Molly, go lay down. So you'll want to pick this up so you can clip that off. And you want to be careful not to get your cut into your overlay. So it's going to look like that on the back. And then you'll have your hole right here. Okay? So you put that off to the side. Grab your zipper piece and your 2 pocket pieces. Where's my second pocket? There it is. And your 2 pocket pieces. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put tape across here. And you're going to take this and you're going to lay edge to edge. Just like that. And we're going to tack this down with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do the same thing for this one. Put tape across here. Now, if you do want to do this in the future for your other bags that you make, and you can't remember how to do it, I do have a separate tutorial. It's about 35 minutes long on how to do just this pocket piece. So then you want to take this and you want to kind of get it evenly on the sides. As evenly as you can, and lay it edge to edge again, edge of the zipper onto the edge of the fabric. And then we're gonna cut that in there. We're gonna tack this down at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And now this part, next part, is very important. You want to press this out. So the way you're going to press it, you're going to lay it upside down. You're going to lay the zipper upside down, and you're going to pull these like this, and you're going to press on this side, okay? It's very important that you do that because it helps the zipper to lay in the overlay a lot better. So I'm going to go press mine. Okay, so once you get it pressed, you're going to want to flip it this way because you want your zipper pull on the left-hand side. I'm going to take this piece with the overlay. You're going to put some tape here. some tape here. Okay, now I usually do the top first. Or if you want, you can try. Let's try and do it. Let's try and do both of them together. See what happens. We may make a mess. We may not. Oh, come on. Don't give me this trouble. I don't know why this tape always does this. There. Okay. So I'm going to have to stand up for this one. You want to keep your zipper pull out here. Okay? And I'll show you why. You'll see why when I sew this together. So you're just going to lay that as evenly as you possibly can on there. Okay, if you have to pick it up and move it around, that's fine. Okay, so it should look like that. And now we're going to sew on this inside part here. This inside part of the overlay. All the way around. Make sure you keep your pocket pieces out like this. You don't want to get them under here because you'll mess up your pocket. Okay, I think I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch in on this one. No back stitching. Okay, now here you want to pivot. Now here I do back stitch because that kind of locks this end of this zipper in, so when you're moving your zipper back and forth all the time, it doesn't wear out as quickly. So I will back stitch here. And nobody's going to see it, so don't worry about it having a bunch of stitches there. It looks a little thick, but that's okay. At least you know your zipper's not going to be going anywhere. Now when I get up here, I'm going to come to about right there, about right here, and then I'm going to push my zipper pull in there. Okay. Push my zipper pull. You want to hold this with your fingers. Push it back there. Same thing here. We're going to back stitch on this one too. and then tie it off and burn it. Okay, once you get it tied off and burnt, you want to kind of flatten that down, flip it over, and you're going to fold that over, and we're going to stitch really close to this edge here to close off this pocket. And you are going to stitch all the way around because you're not leaving this open to turn. There's a different way we're going to turn our bag. Now you can feel right here where the edge is, because this piece here is longer than that back piece. And if you're using quilt cotton, you can see right through it, so you know where you're at. So you might want to stop right where that posy is, that's probably about 1 inch from the bottom. You want to pivot. Pivot, fold this up, and then we can cut this extra off. I just cut it even with the pocket piece. And then I fold this back and I'll re-singe the edges so the zipper doesn't fray over time. Do the same thing on the other end. And there is your zipper overlay. And there's your zipper pocket. Cute, huh? And that is my back piece of my lining. So now we're going to put the sides on like we did the front. We're going to take one of these side pieces and we are going to clip it. And do the other one. Take your other side piece and clip it on the other side. Whoop. Okay, then we're going to sew down the sides. I'm gonna pin my pocket up just for the heck of it, so I don't. I know I'm not gonna sew into it, but it just makes me feel more comfortable to pin it up. Now we're going to sew down the sides. Now I'm starting at the 1/2 inch, and then I'm gradually going to go out a little. Not much, but a little. And when I get down here, I'm going to go in. I'm doing the same thing on the other side. That just helps your bag to fit tighter, more snug, the lining. Okay. I am going to go press these. Okay, I got that nice and pressed. So then we're going to put the front piece on. And we just line it up like we did the other one. And then I'm going to go press these. Okay, so you should have found your centers on your bottom piece, and you want to put your bottom piece on just like you did for the exterior bottom. Okay, so you are going to do it like you did. You're going to put your bottom on there, and you are going to mark it off a 1/2 inch in from the edge, and that 1/2 inch should butt up to where this seam is. And you're going to sew from that mark to this mark over here. Okay? Do one side at a time, just like you did your exterior bottom piece. Back stitch. Even with that mark, and back stitch. Okay. Now, when you do the next side, you're not going to go all the way across because you want to make a big, ow, that hurt. You want to keep a big hole so you can turn your bag. Okay, so you put your mark on that seam. And I'm going to stop right where that pin is, or clip is, because I want a big enough hole so I can turn my bag. So I'm going to sew maybe 2.5 inches, and then I'll have all of this to, maybe not. There, I'll have all of this to turn my bag through. So start where that mark is. Here, start here, back stitch, and stop where the mark is and back stitch. Okay. All right, take that off. Now we're going to do our sides. you could clip that. Alright. We are going to sew right in between those marks. Okay, nice side. Now we can put that's what our lining will look like on the outside. And that's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do is we're going to attach this to the strap. And then we're going to attach this part to the bag. Okay. All right, so you want to take this that we've already done, you want to fold it in half, like that. And you're going to cut it. Take one of your pieces, and you want this. You want to hold it like that. You want the wrong side to face up. Push it through there. And then we're going to just clip it for right now. I want to do that with the other side. temporarily just baste these across here. We're going to attach it right away, but I think it reinforces the connector to stay better, to stay together better. So I'm just going to go ahead and reinforce this down here. Stitch it about 1/8 of an inch across there. Same thing for the other one. And then you want to attach these to the center. So what you're going to do is you're going to, I'm just eyeballing mine. I know, I probably shouldn't do that. But that looks good. I'm going to stick that there in the center, just like that. And I'm going to sew. I want this sticking up just a little. Use one of my bigger clips. I'm going to sew really close to the edge. Squish bag down. Ow! And just sew across there. That hurt. Just kind of tacking it on there. I'm going to have to get a Band-Aid on my finger. Just like that. Flip this around. Make sure your strap isn't twisted. Do the other side the same way. And I'm going to go get a Band-Aid on my finger and take care of it because it's bleeding and it really hurts. Okay, I'm back. I'm all better now. Okay, so I have this in here. I hope you can see it. I got these flat pieces in my way. So I'm just going to sew across there. Got everything squished down. Okay. Okay, so now the strap is on there. So the next part is putting this bag inside the lining so we can get everything sewed up and turn it through and then do our top stitching and we'll be done. So you want to grab your lining. So this is the front of the bag. This is the back of the lining. So I'm going to want to stick the bag in just like this. So you want your flat piece down in the back. You want your straps hanging down. What I do is I kind of try to pull my straps through this bottom hole because this bottom hole is in the front. And then I take everything else, grab that bag, squish it up, get your lining, put your bag in your lining, remember keep your, look, this thing's slippery. Keep your flap down and keep your strap down. Put it inside the bag. Oh, that went pretty good. Then take your strap, pull it through here. Now you want to match up your notches. And clip. Do your notches first. And we're going to sew on the inside of the bag. You want to get this seam matched up with this seam of the exterior of the bag. So the lining seam and the back exterior bag seam match. Same over here. Butterfly your seams open. If you need to use a bigger clip, use a bigger clip. Need some big clips on some of these. And then you want to do the same thing with this side. Match up the seam of the lining with the seam of the exterior. Now you can definitely put a recessed zipper in this and put the flap, or you can just put a recessed zipper in it and omit the flap altogether if you want. Some people don't like bags that are open because they're afraid things will fall out of it. But there's all kinds of ways you can do different things with your bag to alleviate that. Put recessed zipper in. You can put a drawstring. Oh, a drawstring lining. That's an idea. So it's nice together. Very nice. So then we are going to sew all the way around, and I am going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay. So we are sewing on the inside of the bag. I'm going to put you over on this other side of me. Okay, so you can see better what I'm doing, hopefully. If I don't get my shoulders in the way and all that. Hope the lighting is okay. So I'm going to start in the back. You know what? I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm back stitching. And I'm going to come back and go over the strap connector a little bit one more time once I go all the way around this. Good grief. To go back over. And I'm gonna sew just at the top of it. I just like doing that because it gives it extra stability. make sure it doesn't come off of there. And this one. Okay. Now we will turn this baby. I'm going to turn everything through here. So you want to squish that exterior part together. Grab that flap. All right. Push your corners out on your bottom. Right. Now what you want to do is you want to, oops. You want to take your fingers in here and kind of pull, and as you're pulling, it kind of helps that that quilt cotton to fold. You kind of work your fingers up this way. Grab a pin or clip, sorry. Clip that. Bring this over here. Then we are going to sew across here really close to the top. Okay? Now, if you know how to do a blind stitch, you can go ahead and do that. I do not know how, or blind hem or whatever it's called, so you don't see that seam there, but I don't know how to do that, so. Okay? That's going to close that hole up that we did. So then you want to take that and you want to stuff it down in the bag. Then we're going to fold all of this down so we can top stitch. Clip all the way around. I'm going to fold and roll your lining down. And push it down in there. You need to make it tight. These sides will have to kind of pull that lining down. Alright, so there you're not going to be able to pin anything. You're going to have to work it with your hands when you go around it. You're going to want to pull the lining and try and pull that at the same time so you can go around here good. Because you're going to want to keep your flap up as you go around to do your top stitching, because we're going to sew on the inside of the bag. Now, if you have a cylinder arm, by all means, you can go ahead and sew on the outside. If you have a drop table where you can get, where it makes a little, what do you call it, a makeshift arm here, so you can put your bag in there, you can do that. I do not have that, so I have a flatbed, so I have to sew inside, otherwise my top stitching gets all messed up. So I will shut the camera off and I'll get everything set up nice so I can do that, and we'll come back and top stitch. I am going to try it like this, see how messy it gets. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to stitch. I'm not doing on the inside, I'm doing it on the outside, so we will see what happens. Make sure you turn your stitch up to a top stitching stitch. And you want to sew at 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, whichever you prefer your top stitching to be. See, if I straighten that by pulling it, I might be able to do it this way. Just keep your needle down when you stop so you're not messing anything up. It's a little bit more of a finagling because you got to try and straighten everything out. Needle down. Go slow when you're doing it this way. Well, anytime you do top stitching, you want to go slow. Let's see if I can get that straight. Longer, that's all. Is my arm in the way? Sorry. I don't want my arm to be in the way because that's the part I'm not going to be sure about for the back. Oh no! I might be able to do it. think we did it. Yes, we did. Yay. Okay. All right. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to tie my ends off and come back and we will look at this bag more close. Okay everyone, this is the finished bag, the Monique Satchel. Very pretty bag. Has a snap pocket, a zipper overlay pocket. The lining fits very nice. And I think that if you make this a smaller version, a carbon copy of this, just a smaller version at 85%, this would make a cute mother and daughter bag. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope you come back and watch more. I will be doing another Sew Chic Designs handbag, and I hope you watch that. It should be posted hopefully by next weekend. So stop back by and watch us sew the Monique, the second Sew Chic handbag. See you then.